What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Ravens Media, bringing Ravens content every single day. If you want to stay up to Ravens content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the notification bell as well if you want to get notified every single time I upload a brand new video. Now, in this video, I'm going to be talking about recent Ravens. I can't even call them rumors. I really can't call them rumors because that gives them some sort of level that they're real. But for some reason, I just keep seeing this. Ooh, trade Lamar Jackson. What about that? The Ravens are considering it. And it's like, I'm going to talk about all of that today. And please let me know what you guys are thinking. And I'm going to make I don't think it's a wild assumption. Most of you are going to say that is absolutely ridiculous. The Baltimore Ravens are not trading Lamar Jackson. And I am completely with you. And I just wanted to talk overall about just this idea about Lamar Jackson, because Lamar Jackson, we all know, he is the most criticized, not just quarterback, not just Raven, not just offensive player. He's the most criticized player in football. He is. And anytime people get the chance to slander him, they take it. And, this season he got hurt. So we got to see what everyone got to say when Lamar Jackson, and what's so sad about it is it's like he finally got hurt. Like that's what seems like, the way that people are always talking about it, like, oh, he finally got hurt. Like they were hoping it would happen. They were waiting for it. They were excited, like, oh, he's gonna get hurt. He's gonna get hurt. And when he does, then we'll get to get him. Because they can't get him when he's healthy, because he's great. And just that kind of mentality when it comes to Lamar Jackson. And no matter what's going on, people are going to try and find a way to dismiss this man, what he's done, what he's been able to do, what he could potentially do in the future. And so that means that, sometimes when it's the off season and, obviously he doesn't have a contract or anything like that, I think they're looking at the Ravens and they're saying, hey, how can we bring up Lamar Jackson while trying to make it make sense? And now they're starting to go with this narrative that I've started to see. I saw it a little bit late in the season. I didn't really catch on to it until the whole trade talks, not actual trade talks, about Lamar Jackson has been getting discussed. And I was like, wait a minute, that's what that was leading to. That was the new movement, right? The initial movement was Lamar's a running back. He's not. A lot of teams were like, I don't really want this guy at quarterback. Ravens wanted it. Boom. Then it was like, he can't really throw. So he fixed that. And he's improved dramatically as a passer. And then it was, he can't really be in a pass first offense. Can't really come from behind though, right? He can't win a playoff game. Well, he beat those. Okay. The next one is he can't fit into that system, which is kind of ironic because a lot of Lamar Jackson's success from the Lamar Jackson haters, it's like, oh, it was Greg Roman. Greg Roman was phenomenal. And now it has transitioned to this idea of Lamar can't really play in Greg Roman's system. And since they're keeping Greg Roman, that's what it seems to be. They didn't fire Roman. They fired Wink Martindale. Nothing's been come out about Greg Roman. Seems to me like the Ravens are wanting Greg Roman more than Lamar Jackson because Lamar can't fit into that system. And this is not a video that I am going to be trying to call for Greg Roman's job or anything like that. I'm just trying to explain what I believe is the new narrative that is coming. And it's that Lamar Jackson is not performing well under Greg Roman, and people are blaming that on Lamar rather than Greg Roman adapting to his quarterback. And this isn't anything new. This isn't something that's totally unexpected or anything like that. I'm not surprised that this is the next wave of the movement. But the unfortunate thing is it's going to be the most difficult to break. Because how do you break the narrative of, oh, we can't win playoff games? You won a playoff game. Boom, he did that, right? How do you break the narrative of, oh, he can't come back from behind? You come back from behind, you win. How do you break this narrative of he can't flourish in Greg Roman's system? Because he won an MVP in Greg Roman's system. He won a playoff game in Greg Roman's system. Like, I don't, he made comebacks in Greg Roman's system. I legitimately don't believe what it is. And so people are trying to say, like, oh, the Ravens should move on from Lamar Jackson. I mean, that's just, I don't even know why. It's so like anti Ravens oriented. Like, it's like, oh, if the Ravens want to get better, they got to lose Lamar Jackson. I don't even understand how that would work. Like, it's not like, even if we had, Trevor Lawrence, I don't know, Trevor Lawrence was a great quarterback prospect, right? Even if the Jaguars last year were like, hey, Baltimore, for Lamar Jackson, we'll send you the number 1 overall pick. The Ravens are still not doing that. They're still not taking that trade. And they would probably laugh at the Jaguars. And I'm not trying to slander Trevor Lawrence. I think that the guy's going to be a great player. I really do. I do love him as a player. He's great. But the Ravens, to get better and become a winning team or whatever, if they lost Lamar Jackson, do you know how many steps it would take? One, they'd have to find a new quarterback, right? This is not an amazing quarterback draft class, all right? This is, there's some decent players. I'm not in love with any of the guys, but there's some decent players, but no player where it's going to be like, oh yeah, they're franchise changers, all right? Nothing like that. No. I know this is a Ravens show, but no Burrows, no Trevor Lawrence's, no Andrew Lucks. Those guys at the top of the draft where everyone's like, yeah, you get this guy, things are looking up. It's not like that. I'm not saying it's a bad draft class. There's a lot of great positions in this draft class. It's not really quarterback, though. And we all know that is the most important position in the NFL. Hands down, if you want to win, you almost guaranteed need to have good quarterback play. Then you look at it and you're like, okay, whatever. Let's say somehow the Ravens in this trade, they get a great quarterback. And he's just as good as Lamar. Again, this whole scenario is very unrealistic. But let's say it all happens. You get the quarterback. Then you're like, okay, now let's see the team we're working with. They're like, oh, wait, I forgot. The team's also not very good outside of Lamar Jackson. And he carries the team heavily. And half of their free agents are all leaving. And they have a lot of key pieces that are on the outs. Deshaun Elliott, Calais Campbell, Brandon Williams, potentially. These are all guys that could be on the outs. Sammy Watkins. We don't know what's up at the right tackle position. We don't know what's going to go on at the cornerback position. Anthony Averett could be gone. Marcus Peters, team option, 1 year left. Maybe he's gone after next year. You got the amount of things that the Ravens would have to do to get better after losing Lamar Jackson would not be solved by a trade. It's not like you could trade. I mean, the only I'm not even going to mention any possible trades that would make any sense, because there aren't any. But this idea of it legitimately does not make any sense. And all of a sudden it's like the critiques or the critics of the Ravens are now becoming massive Greg Roman fans. And I'm not going to say all Ravens fans. I'm going to say a majority. I think I'll say probably 60 to 70% of Ravens fans. And I'm not saying if you're in the minority, you're wrong or anything like that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the majority of Ravens fans are not big fans of Greg Roman. But all of a sudden, the haters, the guys that don't like Lamar Jackson, they love him, right? They just can't get enough of Greg Roman. Why? But he's kind of hurting Lamar Jackson, and that's probably why they love him. But overall, it's ridiculous just seeing how if I had seen maybe one person talking about it, I've seen so many people talking about it and bringing it up, and it's ridiculous. We've talked about Bucky Brooks when he talked about, hey, what if the Ravens became a college quarterback factory? I think is kind of how he described it, where the Ravens just play rookie quarterbacks. They draft a new one, they let them go, that type of thing. And it was like, yeah, except when you get that guy that's great, you want to keep him. If your quarterbacks are not good and you keep drafting them, yeah, keep drafting them. For example, Denver struggled at drafting quarterbacks. Denver's had a pretty good team outside of the quarterback the last few years, right? They got Von Miller, Bradley Chubb. They just drafted Patrick Surtain. They have Justin Simmons. A lot of great pieces right there. First round pick Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Noah Fant. Really good. Good O-line too. But the quarterback, they cannot get themselves a quarterback. They tried Drew Lock. They tried Brock Osweiler. Ever since Peyton Manning left, there's been a dozen guys that have tried. And it's just not working. And they're just like continuously trying. If the Ravens lose Lamar Jackson, it could be exactly like that situation. Exactly like it. And we do not want to be in a situation where every year we're trying to draft a quarterback and trying to sign a new quarterback because we lost the one we had. It makes no sense. I'm kind of upset that I'm making a video about this, but I saw it so much that I figured I had to talk about it. But let me know what you guys think. It's just kind of frustrating. But thank you, everybody, for watching. Subscribe for daily Ravens content. Sorry, all of a sudden this went out of focus like the last little bit of the video. But thank you, everybody, and I'll see all of you again next.